Hello, good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. It's another day, busy day. It's came to an end, and I want to share a bit with you what I call how to handle your business debt or how to handle business debt. One of the ways, or the main way for me, for most people to see wealth is business. People who are able to take financial risk, business risk. They are also the people in a very organized economies. They are the people who are likely to be compensated, to be rewarded for the risk that they usually take. Most people, before starting businesses, may not have had debt, personal debt, consumer debt. Most people didn't have that, except maybe the house and a car. But business is, you know, one of the things that can easily also get you into some kind of debt. And people who are not equipped, or people who have not prepared for it, sometimes can be decimated by it. Sometimes they can be destroyed. They can be, you know, they can be swayed. They can be put into personal difficulties because debt is not something that, if you are not, prepared, you can handle. And yet, the likelihood that that business that you started will, will at a point send you into some of these difficulties is there. They say that those who have statistics say that the first 10 years, there's about 10%. The 10% businesses that started in the last 10 years will have a fair chance of succeeding. And one of the troubles that businesses go through, one of the things that will kill businesses is usually debt. Debt. Loans that you took from your friends, from your mother, from the bank, from the microfinance people, from everybody concerned, which you may not have been able to service it, or your business went bad and you were left with a lot of difficulties. Almost every business person, especially the first time business people, the entrepreneurs, have had a lot of difficulties, and they have had a lot of stories to tell. And so, how do you handle this kind of business debt? How do you go through this stage? How do you keep your head up when the darkness, they say that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but this one, you got to the end of the tunnel and the light was not there. The light was not there. It appeared like it was all darkness. Business debt. Business debt. It can be trouble, it can be damaging, it can be worrisome, and sometimes it can kill your dream to own your business. And so some of the points that I have is try not to get into any of those debt if you can. You are starting business, you don't have much experience, you don't have much money. A lot of the decisions that you're making, any of them can go bad. And yet, you say that the best way not to get to debt is not to take it at all. At least not to get yourself into that. And so when you're starting a business, the best you can do is to let the business evolve. Let the business evolve by itself, without going for big loans when you are not exposed, when you are not skilled, when you are not connected, when you don't understand much, when you don't have the model working. The best you can do is not to get yourself involved or get yourself connected to some of these things they call loan. when you are not sure of what you're doing, when you have not been skilled in what you're doing. Try not to get, let's say you want to start, what is it, maybe poultry farm. You have 1,000 cities, but you have done all those things and you think that you have to start big, because usually that is what gets us into trouble. We have not done business at all, we have not tried anything at all, and yet when we start, we want to start from a very high level. And so you have 1,000 cities, you can start with maybe three of those things that they start the business with. But because you want to start big, you want to start heavy, big player with a little exposure, you went to the bank or you went to a friend and you took maybe 100,000. And when you have not gone through the process, when you have not skilled how to handle the money, when you don't know the terrains of this business, when you don't know the secrets of those kind of businesses, and you go for big money, the likelihood that you will lose that money is huge. It's very high. So instead of you starting with the little that you have and you gaining the understanding, the knowledge, then after a while, if you want to see growth and you have understood some of these things, maybe you can, when it's working and there's revenue coming in, maybe you can look at maybe taking some money somewhere to grow the business. But when everything is at the primary level and you have not tested it and you don't even know what you're doing yourself, and you go for big money from some people, from the bank or from other institutions or from friends, the likelihood that you will destroy that money is very high. And that is somebody's money. So before you see it, you owe people. The money that you took from them that you put in the business, you can find it. You can find it because you are not skilled. And so one of the things that you can do is to prevent yourself from getting yourself into this hole because you are not skilled. The business, you don't understand it, it's not working, you're trying. Don't start big. You want to start a business, you went for loan to rent a big office, put internet there, buy a car, and you have not sold one product. You have never done any business before. You'll be in trouble. So prevent yourself from into that, getting into that kind of situation until you understand what you're doing. Start small. It is better. It is better. Because when they are giving those loans, if it's the bank, they are taking collaterals, they're taking a lot of guarantees, and the interest rate is no joke, it's high. And that is one of the things that can easily kill your dream. So, as much as you can, don't develop that thinking of you starting a business with big loan from people, from banks, when you are not entrenched, when you are not that much established in the understanding, in the connection, in the kind of business that you're doing. Don't start your business with a loan. It's not the best way to start business, because once you are set on that path, it can sink you quickly. Before, maybe, yeah, as an individual, if you go to the bank to take, let's say, 1 million, they will not give you even 100,000 to be war. But when you have a business or you have maybe a project, and they think that that project is good, those who have given you the project, will pay. They may want to give you big money, and yet they will not look at your exposure, what you have handled before. Some of them may not look, because they just look at the process. They have done all the things that they have done, and they think that you can make profit. They are not looking at how unskilled you are and how wrongly you can become with your decisions. And before you see it, you are in a bad situation. And when you're in a bad situation, it's a bad situation. When you're in a bad situation, it's a bad situation. So, as much as you can, prevent yourself from getting into huge debt in the first place, so that you don't have to have any ways and means to handle the debt in the first place. Not all debt are bad. Not all debt is bad. Not every one of them. So there are some that, businesses grow. In good economics, businesses grow, which some of that, and they are good ones. You cannot totally say that it's not good. because one way or the other, even if you don't take a loan from the bank, you have employees, you may pay them, some of them you may owe, or suppliers. There are things that you do in business that can easily enter into debt. So if your session is, oh, debt is bad, it may not hold. But so there are some debts that are good. So you have a big project and somebody is trying to credit you maybe 5% a year, and it's a good business. And if you do your calculations, you can get some profit on it. It may not be a bad one because it will take a while to raise maybe big money. It's a 100 million project, and you have to sink in 20 million before things get set. You may not have that 20 million as at a point, as a growing business, and maybe you qualify, and some people want to extend that kind of support to you. You may want to look at that, but at least look at the interest rate. And if you are in that bad situation, one of the things that you would have to do is that you have to keep your confidence. Because when people are in financial difficulty, when people are in a business debt, some people or a lot of people panic. They panic, they stay in denial, and they start to blame themselves so much. They worry and they talk negatively about themselves. That is not what you want to do for your life. That's not what you want to do with your business. If you have made that mistake and you are in that situation, you have to keep your confidence. And it's business debt, it's not personal debt. Even though they hold you responsible, it is still business debt. So no matter what people call you, no matter the bad names and everything, it's still business debt. Ordinarily, you may not have even gone for that money in the first place, but because you started that business, because you're so much focused on it, because you lost your control, you lost your part along the line, you found yourself in this kind of situation. And so don't lose that confidence that you have, because you will need that confidence to fight back and to win with the situation, with the debt. And if you lose it and you feel like a victim, you feel like you don't have any skill, you feel like you made a serious mistake, you may take a lot of time to overcome that kind of situation. So the other thing is that if there are multiple debt, if there are multiple debt, look at the small ones that you can handle. Let's say maybe you owe 10 companies, or you owe maybe three banks, and you owe other individual people, maybe three people or four people. One of the things that you want to do is that if there is 10,000 and there is 5,000, there is 1,000, there's 2,000, in order to gather your confidence and at least feel like you're making progress, uh, the little money that are coming, that is coming to the business, you would want to look at those that you owe in the little fractions, and start to agree something and pay. One of the things that you don't want to have is to take somebody's money. Somebody supported you with their money, help you with your business, and then you want to say that you won't pay them the money. It is not yours. It's somebody's money that they sweated. You may have made all your decisions. You may have made all the errors. People will not agree with you. People will insult you. But that is okay. People will call you names that you are not. People will lie on you. They will say the things that you have not said because you owe them. But that is not the situation. The situation is that tell yourself, I will not want to run away with anybody's money. It is their money. As much as I can, I have to be positive, I have to be credible, I have to own up, I have to take the responsibility, and I have to pay those that I have to pay. And so start with the little ones. Don't run away. Don't put off your phone. Don't change your address. Don't move out of town. Because when people have this kind of situation and they have no idea what to do, they put off their phone, they change their addresses, they lie, they don't want to talk to people again, they move somewhere, they travel. That's not it. It's somebody's money that they will use their blood to work. They use the work, they made effort, and maybe they trusted you, they gave you the money. If you're an honest person and you lost the money genuinely, you would want to still want to pay them. You would want to pay their money back. And you don't want to say that I will never pay that money, or I want to lie. I will. You cannot trust anybody who is refusing to pay people that they owe. It has to be money that you owe and you want to pay. It's a business debt. It's, yes, I know it's a business debt, but a sign of responsibility is for you to own up the people that you have their money with you. So no, don't be a man, be a woman, stand up. You took risk. It's business. There's no other way that creates more wealth, more riches than business. No much, no other way. A lot of ordinary people who had no other way of becoming wealthy, except business, except entrepreneurship, have become wealthy. They took risk, and what it means by taking risk is that anything can happen. But it's still one of the best ways to create wealth. It carries a lot of stress, a lot of pain, and part of that pain will be the debt that you may find yourself in. So own up. Don't worry so much about being disrespected or being looked down upon, being talked about, people lying and or saying all kind of things about you because you owe them. Don't worry about that. Own up. Have a strategy. Have a plan. Pay the people that you owe. Pay the bank that you owe. Don't run away from them. So far as you agreed, it is your case. It is your difficulty. It is your problem. You know, don't run away from people because you owe them. It is difficult situation, I tell you. When people are talking about business and talking about business plan and projections and branding and advertisement and all those nice things that you talk about, I wish they would talk about the dark side of the bad decisions that you made, because that's what really a lot of the times would make people give up on their dream to owning a business. So when they are talking about all the nice things and the nice, those who have not done it are the ones talking about a lot of the business plan and all those nice things that they talk about. The other ones who have done it, usually they don't want the enabling people to do it because they've gone through so much that they are tired, and they see somebody trying to do it. They really want to know if you have the strength to do it. And yet, it's one of the best tools to lift yourself out of penury. It is one of the best tools to live your dream. It is one of the best tools to give opportunities to people, to employ people, to develop and to make a little contribution to the development of your locality, of your country, and possibly to create some wealth for yourself and for your family. So entrepreneurship is that powerful, it's that strong. You don't need anything to start. Nobody can prevent you from starting. There's no classification, there's no control body, nobody. You just vim. It could be man, woman, anybody at all. So far as you have head, you're a human being, you have a fair chance to becoming anything that you want to be, especially with business. That's what I love about it. But at the same time, it can also create problem. And one of those problems is what I'm talking about, the debt that business will bring. You have to know how to handle it. You have to know how to handle it. At a point, you'll be there. So connect with those who you owe. It's a tough one. Some of them will malign, will shout at you, will cheat you, will call you wicked, liar, all kind of names. It doesn't matter. And the business debt sometimes is the one. If it's a partnership, sometimes it's one of the points, critical points that will break or strengthen the partnership. People talk about business is my partner, is my partner. When everything is good, people are partners, especially in our country. People are partners because everything is good. They share the profit. That's why they show up. When things don't work out, they are not partners. They become enemies. They want their quota. This is our country. This is what we live. This is the culture. So business debt is one of the most critical points that you see the heart of the person that you think you have partnered with, or the team that you have built as business. When there's pressure, you see the quality that you have. And most partners are just partners for profit, not partners for the problems of the business. So it does not really have to. You don't have to really, or you don't have the debt. You don't have to let it stop you from pursuing your dream of owning a business or building a business or being an entrepreneur. Never let that stop you. Have a strategy, have a schedule, meet the people you owe, agree on something, take their numbers, take their mobile phone number or mobile money or account, or meet them, whatever that you have. But you cannot give everything that the business is making to pay the debt. Sometimes you have to keep some, at least to see that the business is trying to evolve, because it's the same business that must pay the debt anyway. And so if you're making 10,000 and you owe people so much, at least maybe use 8,000 to pay, keep the 2,000 to start to revive the business. Because people, one thing about this life is that people don't forget their money with you. If they are 100 years, they will still tell their children that this friend of mine, this company owe me money. So it's something that does not get rotten. So you might as well have a strategy to grow the business so that you can pay. And never think that people will forget their money with you. They don't forget. Until they have said that I have written it off, it is in their mind. It's in their dictionary. They tell themselves every day, this guy owes me, this woman owes me, and they never forget that. So you would want to, and never think that it's only you or the top business people that you see. A lot of them have gone through this kind of situation before they started to make a lot. Because until the business is making a lot of money, you're going to go through some of these things. And why you are still finding it difficult to be paying those debts is because your business is not making that much. If the business is making that much and you're a good person, why would you want to owe? The only reason that you have protracted debt on you, the only reason you have a lot of difficulties on you, and you are struggling. You try to explain, you go to promise, it doesn't work, you meet this one, you talk, it doesn't work, you meet this one, that's why it's because the business is not making much. So the problems really is not the debt. The problem why you're going through what you're going through is not because of the debt. It's because the business is not making much. The business is small. The business is not launching out much. The business is not bringing enough revenue. That is why the debt is there. The moment the business is making enough revenue, those debts can easily be paid. Because debts that are not paid is because there's lack of revenue that can be used to pay the debt. Okay, there's no money coming into the business. That's why you owe. That's why you keep promising and it's not working. And nobody wants to trust you. That is a phase of business. And you probably will be there. And if you're there, don't collapse. Don't collapse. From this stage, have a plan. Agree on a schedule with everyone that you owe. Agree on some kind of schedule, some kind of plan. Tell them that give me 24 months, give me 5 years, give me 2 months, whatever that you owe them, and plan and start to make effort. Put the money in the account anyway. Even if they insult you, even if the bank managers come to the house, especially the microfinance people, they are brutal. They are heartless. They will come and take everything that you have, come and create scene. They will bully you. They will do all kind of things. But keep your confidence, keep your cool. Don't break down like that. You know, have a plan and stick with it. Go to them, agree with them. They may not agree with you, it doesn't matter. But it's your debt, it's not theirs, it is yours. And usually when you owe small, those the people who owe small are the people that the banks bully. Those who owe the big monies, they beg. Because if they don't pay, the bank will go down. So you know, so if you owe a bank 200 million Ghana cedis, they cannot come and bully you like that. They have to beg you because if you don't pay, the bank will collapse. But if you owe them 2,000, you see, they will come and insult you, bully you, say all kind of things against you. But it's because you owe that little. So don't fight. It means that you are little, you're small. And don't worry about being that because every great business that you see at a point was that small anyway. And so keep your head up and develop a payment plan with them and stick with it. If you fail, go back and renegotiate. If you fail, go back and tell them I'm going to fail, I'm not able to make it, and never be ashamed of that. After all, it's a stage. It's a stage. So far as you're being honest, it's a stage. It will pass. And when you pass through there, you'll be able to say that next time, when I get that money, I will plan well. I will make the right decisions. I will take my time. I will not destroy and I will not waste the kind of money that comes to the business. Very few people have tasted that. Very few people have gone through that. Some people are very much, fortunate to have made the right decisions. But a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs have had to go through a lot of challenges so long as debt is concerned. Some of them, when you meet them, they are at their lowest point. They complain, they talk. A lot of them have nobody to share the pain with, and as a matter of fact, nobody can understand that kind of pain except you. And you just have to know that it's a decision that you took yourself. So you own up. You decided to start a business. Nobody forced you. And you decided to take that loan. Nobody forced you. Even if you're ignorant, even if you're naive, you took that loan. So you cannot blame anybody. You only blame yourself. And you have to find a way to pass through that stage and to solve it. So my name is Obin Dako. I am talking about some of the things that I think you can use to handle business debt. Business debt, and it creates a lot of pressure, creates a lot of pain, it creates a lot of disagreement among the team, among the partners. The business can easily collapse because of this. The thin line between a successful business and the one that failed is because just one stroke can kill that business, and one of it is this one, the debt. The debt. And so you just have to have the confidence that the debt does not have to kill you. You have to be stable. You have to be strong. If you are started business and you found yourself in that situation, it is just one of those things. Be a man, be a woman, stay, become the best. Because one of the things that these ones can also help you, even though it's not a good thing, it can also really help you to become sober and become reflective. Really start sit down and study why you got into that kind of situation in the first place, and what level of financial skill that you have, what level of financial, understanding or knowledge that you have, the level of your negotiation skill that you have. Because some of them, you probably agree to a very high interest rate because you didn't ask. You know, you just promised them, I will pay you 10%, and you saw the money, you were happy. So you thought that I just take this 100,000, I put it in that project. They promised that they will pay in 3 months. So your calculation was perfect. And in business, nothing is perfect. And don't forget that always, always, almost all the time, the payment will not come on time as agreed. But the debt or the expenses will always come not as agreed. Okay. So if you're expecting the payment in 2 months, it's likely that the payment will come in 4 months or 5 months. But if you're expecting the expenditure in 2 months, it may come 1 month. So this one takes a long time to come, and the other one takes short time to come. So you must have the confidence, and you must not be naive, because those are the realities. And when you find yourself in this kind of situation, don't think that somebody else is against you. There is some spiritual force or somewhere. No, it's just a phase, and it's because you made the wrong choice. You probably didn't have to take the money at that time that you took it, but you took it anyway, and it got you into bad situation. You know, you probably you didn't have to take that microfinance money. You didn't have to, send that car as collateral. You didn't have to take your brother's house as a collateral. Maybe because you didn't maybe understand even the business that you were doing in the first place. So when you start a business, first 2, 3, 4 months, if you take somebody's money and it's a loan, you rather have to ask maybe your mother, your father, your brother, and ask him that I need this money to help me to do this business, and I need this money to do this business. I may lose it, but I'm sure that I'll be able to pay you maybe after 2 years, 3 years. And they should give you the money that you're very much comfortable with. They should give you the money that you're very much comfortable with, not the one that you're going to use to pay the hospital bill, or they're going to use to send somebody to school. Not that one. The one that you're very much comfortable. And you should also have the discipline to go gradually, because there is nothing that is that much predictable in a startup, especially when we don't know what we're doing. And yet you need money to do that business anyway. So you want to go gradually, you want to go little by little, you want to go like that, and make sure that the business model is working. You understand it. If you want to pick anybody's money, if you want to pick bank money or something like that, make sure that you are picking it, knowing that at least you have some basic skill for it. Don't just start the business 1, 2, 3, 4 months. 1 year you are picking money from everywhere. By the time you see it, because the thing about taking money from banks and from people is that when you're taking the money, you don't even know that you are creating a hole. You're creating a situation that you are taking yourself into trouble. Usually you don't know. until when they start to ask that money back. Then you are trying to find the money. Where did that money go? Where did I put it? You know, and usually you cannot even find it. Because when that money was coming, because you didn't work for it, you will give to somebody and you may not even track it because you didn't work for it. You took loan, yes, and you will pay it, yes, but you didn't work for it, so you don't have proper attachment to that money. So when you send somebody to say, "Oh, take 1,000, go," you are not critical. You're not looking at the invoice. When they come and they are double charging you, you may not even look because the money is there. It's a loan that they gave you. The bank just gave you that loan. So you're spending on a project and you're not even critical. But if you worked, if you sweated, if you had little, when you don't have much, you have a strategy to achieve your goals. But when there is much, when there is money, you don't think about strategy. You just want to splash the money. And by the time you see it, you have exhausted all those money, and yet you're not having any revenue. And then the red light will be on. Then they start to ask you. Even if it was a credit line they gave you, a time will come that they would have to take the money back. And usually when that time comes, you don't have it. If it's a loan that they gave you and they spread it like that, at the end of every month, they would expect you to pay it. And maybe you pay one, two, three, and the next one, they are not paying you on the project. You're not getting enough sales. It becomes trouble. And it can be sleepless night for some people. It can be pain. It can be struggling situation. But it's business. That's why businesses collapse. And people have been successful in their business, and they killed a lot of businesses before they became successful anyway. And so when you are there, don't forget that people will not forget their money with you. They would want to take it. And so you work your way out to have a plan. And it also develops you as a person. You become skilled when you start to deal with these kind of situations with some kind of fairness and character. Because the quality of the business that you're going to build or you're building is just the quality of the person that you are. You can build a culture of a business that the person that you are building business, does not have. And so you would want to discipline yourself to say that no matter what no matter how long it takes, I took this money from these people, I may have to pay it. And you keep talking, you keep explaining, but you still have to go back and keep, because there will be a way, there will be a day that you'll start to make enough money. There will be a day. If you hang in there and you start to develop yourself, you change the formula, you start to think, there will be a day that things will change, because it will not always be dark like that, especially when you keep developing yourself. So try, my name is Kwabena. Let's see how I'm wrapping up, and I'm saying that business debt, how to handle it. Try not to get into the debt in the first place, especially when you start a business from the first situation, from the few days or few months or few years. Prevent that. Grow with that which you have. Grow with the little that you have. Build a business like that. Don't compare yourself with others. Some people have been in business for 20 years. If they are splashing the money, that is not your money. The one that you are spending, make sure you have the discipline. Grow the business like that from within, and stop going crying and looking to everybody picking money, because whatever you pick, you pay anyway. It's not free. You pay. You pay. You pay. And always, if you must pick, look at the interest. Look at the interest. Anything that you're paying 2% or more every month is suicidal, is dangerous. And yet that is what we have in our country. That's why they have a lot of debt. Businesses have a lot of debt because the interest rate is not sustainable. If you're doing proper business and proper accounting, it is not sustainable. You can't do it and do it well and be paying. So you could be paying them and still be owing because the interest rate is high. And now they slap a lot of things, the processing fee, the insurance, and all those things that they add on the business. So when you're picking a loan, know what you're putting yourself into. If it's credit line, it's the same. You know what you're putting yourself into, because before you realize, you have created a mess. And those mess, when they are created, they don't go away like that. Not one day. They take a little time. So and don't cut your phone, don't remove your chip, don't change your address. Go and meet the people. After all, they seem to have trusted you. That's why they gave you the money. Keep that trust. go and talk to them. If you have to go and renegotiate, go and renegotiate. If you have to talk to them to stop the interest, talk to them to stop the interest. After all, they also took risk. All right. So you go and talk and see what happens. If they are shouting, they are insulting you, don't worry. It's just part of life. If you have not gone there to take their money, they will not have that right to insult you. So if they are insulting you, they say that you just have to be a bit calm and handle the situation because it will pass anyway. It will pass. So go and renegotiate. Go and see if you can have an agreed, if they can have the interest for you or stop the interest or have whatever it is due and agree on the pattern, agree on the schedule, and see how you can keep solving them. And if you can, and as much as you can, don't use all the money that is coming in to pay the loan. The business must grow because if the business is not growing, it will be difficult for you to pay all the debt anyway. So keep some, and but make a decision to pay. Make a decision to pay. Make a decision. Reduce the lifestyle that you have and make a decision to pay all those things. And never forget the people that you owe. Never forget them. Pay. Some people forget, but don't forget. And from this, you may have a story to tell, and you may succeed. Sometimes these kind of difficulties will come, and at the end of it, you have a whole different business because of that difficulty. So everything that comes, it may have come out of your immaturity, out of your ignorance, out of your mistakes. But if that situation is created, in that situation, something can also come out. Never underestimate that. That is one of the mysteries of life. Nobody knows. Maybe it's God who made it that way. But if you make a mistake, it's a genuine mistake. You know how you made it. But even in the middle of that mistake, something that is as much far more powerful than the mistake itself can come out of that. So keep looking. And you can only see those when you stop blaming and killing and victimizing yourself. Keep your confidence to say that I created this mess and I can solve it. I can solve this mess myself. I can solve it. I can solve it. So from there, you know, and meet the people, talk about it and see what you can do. But people have gone through this situation. You're not the first one to go through it and you'll not be the last one to go through it. So as long as business is concerned, people will go through it. And debt is not bad as they tell you. Not every debt is bad. It's bad because you were not exposed. You didn't know what you were negotiating for. You didn't know what you were getting yourself into. People have used debt to build billions. Businesses that are great, all the top businesses that you hear around the globe, they have debt. They have debt, and a lot of them became that because they credited from big banks, and they had a plan to pay them. So don't run away. Stay, fight, and fight your way back into prosperity. And look at how you can enlarge the revenue. Because if you're making little, then you cannot pay the debt. The debt is only a problem because what you're making is small. If you're making so much, that 200,000 or that 100,000 or that 50,000 will not send you into sleepless nights. It's only a problem because you are not making enough. So what can you do to make enough? That is up to you. And you cannot make enough if you want to stay small. If you want to stay small, little, you cannot make enough. You have to start to think of how I can expand this business, how I can grow, I can do more, I can stretch so that I can pay this debt. So my name is Something Daku. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, this one will help somebody. Tell your friends or tell your brother who is building a business because you never know what they're going through. You may not be the one building a business, but somebody in your house, some of your friends, you don't know what they go through, because you cannot handle difficulties if you don't have the proper information. Sometimes it's not the situation that is difficult, but it's our understanding of the situation at hand and what to do. When we don't know what to do, any little thing becomes complex and becomes a big situation. And that I know people who have divorced because the business got into difficulties, into debt. People who had all kind of health implications because they were stressed, they were overthinking, they were over planning. You had people who became hypersensitive because they didn't know what to do with the debt that they created, the business brought, all kind of things. But if you start to have proper, stronger knowledge about what you find yourself in, you'll be able to handle it because it's doable. It's doable. It's doable, and create a kind of environment where you hear people who say positive things to you, not the people who want to kill you and want to use the difficulty as an opportunity to talk you down and to beat you down and to tell you all the mistakes and why you will never overcome that kind of situation and why you are the only one who has ever gone through that. It's not true. A lot of people, a lot of us have gone through a lot of things like that and we have overcome. We keep fighting like that. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.